morning, everyone, or afternoon, evening, whatever time it is when you're watching this. Welcome to Reverend Cassandra's weekly YouTube video. Kind of in the spirit of Rebecca Solnit's thing about disasters being a good time to imagine the world that you want to live in, I've been thinking a lot about capitalism. COVID-19 has really made thin the veil of the predatory corporate capitalism that drives our country. And one of the ways that veil has been made thin is by how willing political leaders in our country were to sacrifice the lives of a few for the sake of the economy, implying that not everyone's lives have equal value. So that is something that definitely goes against Unitarian Universalist principles. One of my friends was explaining it to her 3-year-old. They were driving by a protest, people who were protesting the lockdown, protesting the social distancing measures and all that stuff. And her 3-year-old was wondering what was happening. And so she explained, well, they value money more than health. And we don't. We value health more than money. And I thought that was a really good explanation. So one of the things I've been learning about capitalism is that it makes greed a virtue. That greed is taught to us to be a normal, natural part of being human, and that's okay. That's actually good for the economy, to want more all the time, to never be satisfied with how much you have. And so the corollary to that is this culture of not enough, not having enough, not being enough to your country or whatever, to the economy, not being enough to the economy. And so by its very nature, capitalism is unsustainable. It's insatiable. And so it's unsustainable. If we are to break capitalism, as my colleague says we must, we need to build up an anti-capitalist value of enoughness, of recognizing and celebrating our enoughness, our worthiness that is independent from our ability to be productive on any given day, or how much we contribute to the gross domestic product. That there is a preciousness, an inherent worth and dignity that is independent from how much we make, how much we contribute to the economy. And part of that culture of enough, for me, is a culture of gratitude. So last night, the board had their monthly meeting, and at the end of every meeting, we always do thank yous, board thank yous for the newsletter, and it's such a wonderful practice, and it's a practice of enough. So, there are lots of things that we could be doing better at High Street. We could always use better technology, better technology for the Zoom services and recording technology, and we could have a better network or phone tree of keeping in touch, and we are working on some of that stuff. And it's really important to recognize the ways that we are enough, and that what we have is enough, and what we've done and are doing is enough. So I'd like to just name some of these ways. We're still here. We're in the middle of a global pandemic, and we're still here. We're still staying connected through Zoom services and committee meetings and midweek gatherings when we have them. That is huge. We're still here and we're still connected. Another way is that we have a full budget. We put out the call, you all responded. We actually have, I think, a slightly larger budget than we had last year, which is absolutely amazing. A lot of congregations are having to cut their staffing. They're having to cut back from full-time ministry to part-time ministry. And we can still afford full-time professional ministry, and we didn't have to make any cuts to our staff. We're all, none of us have died from COVID-19 or suicide. And those two rates are extraordinarily high across our country. And that is something to celebrate. So we're hanging in there. We're staying connected. Now let's celebrate that and not fall victim to this culture of not enoughness that is driving the exploitation and greed that is killing our planet and killing lives around the world. We are enough. Let us continue to be enough and practice this enoughness for each other and our families and our friends so that we can be more abundant and more generous in this life that we share. Bye. Love you all. See you Sunday, hopefully.